Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today we are going to take a closer look at a character that is so benevolent it hurts. Pulcinella, the clown assistant of Demiurge. But before we're going to take a closer look at him, let me thank my Patreons for supporting this channel, as well as all users of the YouTube thanks function for making one-time donations. Also please check out my newest video about high, dark and wood elves. It's linked down in the video description. Now, with all of that said, let's start with the origin of the clown part of Pulcinella's character, which is rooted in Neapolitan theater, where Pulcinella on one hand is portrayed as an everyman, but also sometimes as a thief and as an opportunist, siding with whoever is benefiting him or whoever is currently winning. And this status as an everyman is really emblematic for everything that goes on in Nezarec, because Pulcinella, like so many of his fellow NPCs, doesn't think of himself as being evil or doing something morally wrong, because the moral compass of the Great Tomb of Nezarec is just so different and alien to our very own, except of course for a few good souls like Pestonia, Yuri Alpha or Nigredo. The overwhelming majority of the denizens of the Great Tomb of Nezarec act, as we would say it, wrong, but from their own perspective as so very right. Simply speaking, they don't see themselves as evil invaders committing horrible crimes against humanity. Of course, Mara, for example, assisted Einsolgon in the massacre of the Cuts Plain simply by escorting him, or by later in the follow-up war with the kingdom, he destroyed entire cities with earthquakes, likely killing millions by himself. But even with all of this said, he simply views himself as a servant of the supreme beings in general, and of Einsolgon as the leader, and of Buku Buku Shagama in particular. So doing what is asked of him isn't wrong in his mind, but only natural and good, while refusing an order out of petty pity and empathy for these outsiders would be seen as absolutely abhorrent by almost anyone in the Great Tomb of Nezarec, simply because the context of Mara's actions are different from our own human morality. And Pulcinella embodies this like no other. The twisted thinking of doing good by following, from our own perspective, unspeakable, cruel, merciless orders in the name of the supreme beings, while thinking of oneself as not only the good guy here, but in Pulcinella's case, as an incredible benevolent and merciful being. Now, with all of that said, I should make it pretty clear that this character had actually been created as fairly benevolent, and Pulcinella really is, in his own twisted way, benevolent. He believes in making other people happy, and he thinks of Demiurge as merciful, which is about the reddest of flags one can raise. For example, if Demiurge would cut off a person's arms, then Pulcinella would view this as an act of benevolent mercy, as an honest attempt at making all of the other shocked, horrified and panicked fellow onlookers, the two-legged sheep at the happy farm, well, happy. Pulcinella is completely unable to grasp what horrifying crime Demiurge, at least from his own perspective, had committed, and in order to make the now armless prisoner happy, Demiurge would now proceed to cut off another man's legs, just to remind the armless person that he is still one of the lucky guys. And aside from putting the happy into the happy farm, Pulcinella is also quite busy skinning the two-legged sheep for their special wool, which is then turned into message scrolls. And according to Demiurge, this was quite the enjoyable work, something that the floor guardian of the Blazing Inferno really wanted to do himself, if the time would have allowed it. So Pulcinella himself was, from his very own perspective, quite happy and very grateful to Demiurge and his benevolent mercy and empathy towards him. Furthermore, Pulcinella also views experiments to crossbreed demi-humans and humans with one another as an act of mercy, as something to bring joy to their hearts, as something that will help bring two lovers closer together, by enabling them to have a twisted, half-goat, half-human hybrid kid. Which of course raises the question, how Pulcinella became this twisted? Well, I already mentioned that one part of his inspiration is that of a clown from Neapolitan theater, but he's also portrayed, quite literally, as a plague doctor with the long nose, which would normally be a staple of his character also in theater, but the speak of the plague doctors became also emblematic of death, disease, horror, pain and suffering, because they were sent out to treat people who had fallen ill because of the Black Death. But since medicine was not quite advanced in this day and age, the plague doctors couldn't do anything. All of their remedies, like bleeding an already weakened patient, was not really making it better, but quite the opposite, it make their condition significantly worse. Similar how Overlord's Pulcinella makes an already effed up situation even worse, by suggesting to cut off another man's legs, just so people with cut off arms could feel happy about their condition. And with that said, I once more am astonished how much thought went into each character, no matter how minor. Pulcinella had at best a page-long appearance in all of Overlord, but he's still such an interesting NPC, with quite a lot of work put into him. And with all of that said, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Arder Daddy Arder, Bad Guy Yee, Bad Burrito 316, Beezer, Ben C, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Crystal Prime, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Duckwagon, Dunkler Krieger, Dystopia, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feral Shivan, Guide with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, J. Morris, Chromius, Kyle R, Lee K. Long, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Loverazor, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Nope, Oh Hell No, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantum, Personage, Primus 11, Rhinomere, Cune Caracos P, Shergox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Super Tier Magic Batista Bomb, Supreme Cheese, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rocket Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, and Xenokai and Zonegon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon under my next video.